wszystkim.
And Amelia Kalat,
Siemanko.
also community managers. And our special
Okej.
guests today are Miles Tost,
Nagrywam
senior
ten
level
cringe
designer from Germany.
setupowy.
Hey,
Polsatowy.
hey everyone, hallo, hier soll irgendwas in Deutsch gesagt werden, ich weiß aber nicht was.
And Patrick Mills, senior quest designer from the US.
Aha.
Howdy.
So guys, would you mind telling us what is it exactly that you do here at CDPR? Who are you?
So
Nie, dobra.
I am a quest designer.
Dobra.
And that means
To jest lanie wody the stream. Tak.
and that
Lubię
means
koty,
within
jestem
game,
łysy,
like
poleruję sobie tą
story
pałę
parts,
swoją na górze.
it
tak.
means that me or somebody like me wrote that
Mam słuchawki.
and implemented it with a big team of people, including people like Miles, a level designer.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm a level designer, so I design levels, which
Tak,
basically
tak.
means in a game like Cyberpunk that I am involved in making all of the stages that our quest take place in, all of these, locations like.
To jest tak zwany, Adrian Chmielarz to nazwał human touch. Tak, że nie tylko Badowski, Iwiński i tak dalej, tylko prawdziwi ludzie. Mhm. Ciekawe, czy mają lustra w domu, czy je potłukli, żeby nie móc patrzeć w te
Just so
mordy.
you guys know, we're all doing this from home. This is our first experiment of this kind, so please don't judge us too harshly. And what are we doing here today
No
exactly?
właśnie,
We know
nic.
we've been quiet recently, so we want to talk all things Cyberpunk 2077 today, namely our upcoming patch 1.3
Jeden,
for the
trzy.
game, which brings an impressive list of
Impre...
and our very first DLCs that we're very excited
Aha,
to reveal.
przepraszam.
We'll also be answering some questions from the chat, so feel free to ask, and we'll do our very best to answer as many as we can at the end of the
To
stream.
ładny overlay, nie?
If I can chime in, I want to say, Kira mentioned that this is our
Narkotyki
first
były
stream of
brane.
this kind. This is something we're trying out. Since launch, as all of you are definitely aware, things have not gone exactly as planned. So this is something that we're experimenting with because we know that there's not been a lot of communication from us, or certainly not clear communication about what's going on with the project, where we are with things, why are things taking so long. This is our attempt to sort of, try to fix that situation. So I hope you'll bear with us. Hopefully we won't have any technical problems today. It'd be embarrassing if we did, but hey, it
Nie,
happens.
dobra.
So that's where we're at right now.
Okay,
So
so let's get to it. We do want to talk to you
Patch
guys.
1.3. Yep,
Exactly.
yep. Patch 1.3. We're gonna have a lot of changes. It's gonna be our biggest patch to date. So we'll show you some highlights today, but just a few, because when you see the patch, when you see how the scope of it, you'll understand what I mean. DLCs, we're also gonna discuss during the stream in detail. They are included in the patch, so you don't have to download them as a separate unit. You can just find them in the main menu and the game menu as additional content. Now, what do we have now?
Let's get into it. So Amelia is gonna be our stream master today. She will be playing the game for us on her
Stream
awesome
master.
rig. So be nice. And we are starting. Where are we starting, Amelia?
I think we're gonna go to V's apartment and see what's gonna happen in there.
What's new in there?
To
Okay.
jest, kurde, po prostu indie devowie uczą się robić grę i teraz konsultują z...
Nice.
Społecznością.
It's so good to finally get this out, right? We've been, of course, working on this one for a while now.
Kiedy 1.0 wychodzi?
Like, not being able to talk about
To jest
this
żenada
has been
maksymalna.
killing me, and here we are, finally.
Okay, so first thing that we wanted to show.
Ciekawe, czy mają pieniądze za to,
crafting,
że się uczą dopiero robić grę.
Crafting related.
yeah, let's go
Yes.
ahead and take a look at the crafting.
All right. Ooh, we'll start with some actual changes here.
Yes.
What do we have, Amelia?
Well, we actually have the change that you can now craft legendary and any other components in bulks.
Yay, quality of life
You
change.
don't have to click.
Anything.
Nie, to jest żart.
Like,
To jest spóźniony żart na 1 kwietnia.
That seems too easy.
You think? I think it's actually.
Alicja, sama to zrobiłaś? Bo nie wiem, kto to zrobił.
Like,
Nice.
Ich 5 nad tym
try to
pracuje?
click
Tak?
everything, like.
Czy to jest...
I did that. I can assure you that it's a nice change. It's very useful.
I mean, these might seem like, you know, like smaller changes, but ultimately introducing quality of life changes like these is what makes the game a rounder and smoother experience. You know, when you take them all together
To
as
nie
a
jest na
sum,
serio.
right? And since launch, I think the crafting system when it comes to usability has increased quite a bit with the ability of these bulk changes.
Ileż
and
trwa
then
to
some other,
suwaczek?
slight tweaks to make it more comfortable to use.
Yeah, I think that's something you'll see through a stream when we're talking about things. This patch that's coming out is still mostly stability and bug fixing, but we've
Srability.
gotten the game to a state where we're comfortable putting in some of these quality of life changes. This is one of them. There will be a few more that we'll talk about later on, but we're going to start working on
Jest
those
czat
sorts of things
twitchowy?
more in the future. Can't talk about those yet because
Negative.
we've learned our lesson about talking about things before they're done. So, you know.
Yeah, but we'll get there, don't worry. So guys, let's maybe move on to our perks, because we have something to show there as
Aha.
well. What do
Uwaga.
you say, Amelia?
Yes.
Reset
we
statów, czekaj.
Introduced the reset perks button. And I think Miles.
9 miesięcy, nie spół, 9
This is
miesięcy.
actually one of my favorite editions,
9
right?
miesięcy
Because
pracy.
Cyberpunk, we've always sort of intended to be this game where the level design should invite players to
9
mess
miesięcy.
around and play around with a variety of different play styles, right? And having the reset perks button right there on the screen with the cost, well, then a little cost attached to it, not to
9
make it, you
miesięcy.
know, too cheap, too exploitative, allows you to really, you know, just experiment and invites you to experiment and try out different ways of playing the game. And I hope that, you know, for those players of you who you know, may have already started a playthrough and you feel like, oh, I'm not too happy with what I've picked here, this allows you to respec into something more comfortable, whereas other players who maybe you know, like to play a little bit of everything, all that, can just mess around until they find something that
Jezu,
works
tłumacz,
well
jeszcze
for
nie
them,
powiesz, że nie
or
wiem.
try to spend some
Lewym
points
się
on
strzela.
something entirely else.
Plus.
That's not...
Oho,
Yeah.
uwaga, to nie koniec.
That's
Yes,
not
I
all.
said to go.
Ty powiedz, nie, ty powiedz, no.
That's not all. You know, we saw that you made this big list on Reddit or the forums
Big
where
list.
you've been listing which perks don't actually work.
Jak umiesz
as
liczyć
they
do
are
5, to to jest
described
big list, bo
in
zapełnia
our
wszystkie
game.
5 pozycji.
We've seen those lists. And we are going to fix all those perks, starting with this patch where we fixed a few of them and we'll be adding up. So, which are the perks that we fixed, guys?
Ach, ciekawe, co naprawili.
I
9
mean,
miesięcy.
Yeah, so I see there the hit the deck perk has been fixed. Now we'll properly work on knockdown and staggered enemies, which is cool, you know.
Przypomnijmy, perki nie działały.
So Pattern, do
There's
you
a
want
Nie
to
działają,
touch
czy nadal?
perk,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We've got the can't touch this perk. It's been fixed. It'll properly grant immunity to blind from your own flash grenades. The crazy science perk properly fixes the sale price of items. And the hacker overlord perk will now grant a recipe for epic whistle quick hack. There are more fixes as well. They will be in the patch notes, which we will link
Z te
later.
patch note to im pisze
I
jakiś...
actually have I see one question in the chat pop up regarding this.
One
Which
question.
is how about reset attribute points, right?
Jezu,
This
nie.
is something that is a bit more difficult to do. I'm not saying that
To jest jak w jakichś
it is,
dowcipach
actually,
z
I
Elonem,
honestly
tak? Że
don't
ktoś
know
im na
what to
czacie
say
pisze,
about this, but
a
just
może
from
resetowanie
the game
atrybutów.
logic and how
Nie
we built
myśleliśmy
it,
o tym, to jest
it's
trudniejsze.
not
Boże, to jest
something
jakaś
that we can
bzdura.
so simply reset as the perks, because a lot of, you know, dialogue
No.
choices and all of that stuff, and how you unlock content in the world, you know, be it doors that you can crack open, they are actually directly tied to your level of attribute points, right? And
To jest taki kod
resetting those
spaghetti.
would have
To jest taki...
an effect on the world as well, right? Or your accessibility to it, and we would need to consider how we want that to still address it, right? We don't want to add a new system that actually then ends up breaking more.
Tak, nie
stuff
chcemy dać
than-
systemu, bo
than
się
it
nie da, bo
heals.
dodanie każdego
Yeah.
systemu pewnie rozwala całą
So-
grę. Policja pewnie się wchodzi przez ściany.
Okay,
Nie,
so
to
we
jest-
are
to
done
jest-
with respecting
Sorry, to jest frustrujące.
now,
Oglądanie tego.
reset of perks.
Yes, we did.
Naprawdę.
I'm looking for the very
Jezu, nie.
interesting.
Dodaliśmy
and
kotka,
needed
czekam jakiś bzdurę, moment.
addition to this room, and I can't
Yes, guys.
find him.
This is
Eagles,
this
maybe
is the biggest
9
change.
miesięcy.
maybe check bathroom. He likes to hide in there.
Yeah, he's Let's say he's
Yes.
busy, okay?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
There we
okay.
go.
There he
Let's
is.
not
Yeah,
bother
we
him
still
then.
intrude.
He just gave us the look like, the hell?
That reminds me
Oi.
of something. I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
I on coś robi? Tak, bo to, że idźmy już
So
stąd, się
I'm
zaraz
just gonna-
zepsuje.
I'm
Okej.
gonna see if he will miss us, okay? I'm just gonna leave.
Mhm.
Maybe we can actually show the chat where you can get nibbles if you haven't done it.
Yeah,
yet.
of course. Let's go. Because he's right here. He's waiting
We
for
have
you.
Yes.
a very special guest.
Oh.
Nie, to jest ocieplanie wizerunku CDF-u. Jeszcze psa
If you
czekam,
follow
tak,
me on
małe
Twitter,
dziecko,
you
tak.
know this guy.
Przynieś syna do pracy.
This is the biggest superstar of the stream. You know,
Oh, yeah.
don't get confused by our
Nie dajcie się
faces.
złapać, to jest
All about
bajt.
Cosmos.
To jest
Aha.
zarzutka
Do
taka.
it for
Oh.
him.
Okay, anyway, we're
Wszyscy,
in the,
o,
right in the
kotek,
spot where
CDF,
we
dobra,
can
no.
find nibbles the first time in the game. Do you have something to add about it, Patrick, since you already brought your cat?
Policzmy konkrety. Kotek,
Yes, so
reset
if
statów.
so a lot of people don't know
Coś
that
tam
you
jeszcze
can get
było,
the
nie
cat
pamiętam
in
co.
the game,
Aha,
but if you
suwaczek.
come to this location, it's just outside of V's apartment. You'll hang on left to go all the way to the end. There'll be a little note that tells you how to get the cat. You read that, and you need to get some cat food. And in a previous patch, oh look, he's sticking around.
Aha, Slazej pisze, że ten kot już
you can
był.
get some cat food and
To na czym
put
polega
it
ten news
in,
z kotem?
put it in the bowl, and then the cat will teleport to your apartment, and now you'll have a pet cat. And in this patch, we've made some improvements to the cat. The cat does more stuff now. I mean, it's a small change, but it's the kind of thing that we're trying to do more of now that the game
Że go
is
będzie do
a bit
mieszkania
more
można
stable
dać. A
and a
gdzie był do
bit
tej
more,
pory?
in a better place, so that we can do some of these fun things.
A, że nie... z-
No, he's back in his
There we
seat.
go.
Cat.
Dobra,
He's
on
just
się
like-
porusza po mieszkaniu? Że zawsze po prostu jest spawn, jak wchodzisz w różnych miejscach i on tam siedzi i się liże?
Guys, there is
Amazing.
more spots for nibbles now. So tell us after the patch if you found all of them.
Yes.
Sweet.
And there's one more thing that you guys missed and you should feel ashamed.
Oh, what?
Yes, we got the text. And we got the
Oh.
text from Victor Vector.
From our BFF.
Yes.
How could you miss it?
I don't know, guys.
So-
You did.
I'm so sorry, Vic.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read this. I want to say this is the first of our small DLCs. These are small DLCs.
Yeah.
I have seen people getting really hyped because like, oh my god, the DLCs are coming. These are small DLCs. We'll be releasing more later.
Stream
This
z alternatywnej
is the very first
rzeczywistości.
one. It is something cosmetic, and I'll go ahead and I'll read this because I like to do Vic. It's not a great impression, but it's hopefully good enough for y'all. Hey V, thought just occurred to me. Can't start your career in the major leagues right by sporting some rag of a t-shirt. The wind blows a lot stronger up here on top of the world. Old timers like me hate to watch you kids catch cold. Left a couple of your things in your stash at your apartment. Give them an honest try, and I'll bet they fit you just right. And so yes, there's my Victor Vector impression. Thank you.
It was well done. Very
We'll
well.
get
You should get Pavel Seth in here. Wow.
Przepraszam, to jest autentyczny stream CDF-u,
Okay,
tak?
so we
Się
have two
połączyliśmy się z
answers
jakimiś
for
studentami,
for
którzy
V.
się uczą robić grę.
Should I do that?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
I
So,
ktoś ich ocenia, więc tam
first,
muszą te
come
30
on,
minut
Vic, I
robić
feel
tą
like I owe you
prezentację.
a bajillion edits already. No way I can accept another gift. Or, wow, thanks Vic, won't hear me say no to free threads.
Which
Jezu,
one?
to można napisać w 10 minut.
we
Oni
do
to,
it?
oni te 10 minut teraz przedstawiają. To
Gotta
jest...
be nice to Vic.
Yeah.
Gotta be nice to Vic. I mean, he's one of the last decent people in Night City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so the
definitely
first
the
one,
first
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Dlaczego oni to czytają? Bo muszą zapełnić pół godziny streama.
Yes.
To jest... Wymienienie feature'ów to jest 30 sekund.
Okay, come on.
says-
Suwak,
He
kod,
says,
reset statów, nowa misja od Wiktora, która daje nam
Where
ubranka.
else would we find a home for these things? Not Misty style, and my punk days are long behind me.
Tu mają framework pod robienie
When we
banalnych
see this,
questów.
you'll see what he
Nie
means.
muszą nagrywać
This is
głosu,
definitely
niczego,
not
tak?
fit
Wpisuje
Vic,
jakiś tam
as
quest
we know
designer
him.
i tyle. To jest
So
dramat.
let's take a look.
Oni powinni nastrać
Yeah,
tymi
let's
questami
take a look.
w nieskończoność, a tutaj spuszczają się nad jednym. To jest w ogóle WTF.
Okay, so we have 2 jackets.
Tak, ciesz się albo cię zwolnimy. Dokładnie. To jest...
Okay, so let's try them on.
So that's gonna be the first jacket.
Aha, z DLC z 3 kurteczkami, niech zgadnę.
Yeah.
Jezu.
Okay, shiny.
Nie.
Very shiny.
To się nie dzieje
Very
naprawdę.
good.
I imagined Vic wearing that to his boxing matches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When he was like, I don't know, 20 or something.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
long time
Long,
ago.
Just
long,
the
long
jacket,
time
nothing
ago.
else.
Long time ago.
Okay.
It's important again, you know, like this
To jest
patch
za
all by
darmo?
itself is
Wow, jakie DLC.
big. It's gonna be a really big patch. And I think here you mentioned it at the beginning, right? It's our biggest one to date.
Biggest one
we've
co?
put a-
Ginormous.
We've put a lot of effort into this one.
Lot
So
of
consider
effort.
the
Jeszcze
DLCs
raz.
that we have now as a sort of goody, sort of cherries on top, right? And the reality is, of course, and we've talked about this in the past, that we differentiate a bit between different kinds of extra content, right? Between
Extra
DLCs,
content.
small additional items, of which we will have plenty coming down the road, and of course the gigantic expansion passes, which we
Gigantic,
have some
aha.
more, I think, to say about later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so try
Let's
the
check the
second
another
one.
one.
Next
Oni ich
jacket.
wzięli po prostu. Iwiński zobaczył, że najwięcej
I
gadają
think
tam
that jacket
w
is
poczekalni,
made
w sensie w jakiejś
to keep
kuchni.
warm.
Definitely.
Podsłuchali, że
Fluffy.
dobrze, mają
I
dobrą
could wear this
chemię,
in Moscow next
pierdzielą,
year.
zawsze ma spracować, więc ich wzięli do streama.
Maybe
Tak?
Vic had that
Czujcie się jak
when
u
he
siebie
was,
w kuchni.
I don't know, traveling
I tyle, to jest cała
somewhere
historia
where
tego
it's,
streama.
like, super cold, 'cause I don't know.
Also, gets really cold in the Badlands at night, so maybe
desert.
maybe he rode with the
Z-
alcohol.
Wyobraźcie sobie?
Do you
PUBG
think
dorzuca
like
miesięcznie
really punk
tuziny tych
nomad
skórek.
kind of
Jakby
guy?
twórcy PUBG'a robili o każdej
I mean,
takiej rozprawki,
some
to byłoby
people are like
kurde...
that. I've seen people walk around in pullovers in like 32 degrees Celsius, right? It's just
Nie, a-
okay, let's just feel
Historię,
cold, I
tak?
guess.
Ludzie chodzą w pulloverach.
Can
Nie,
we go
nie.
check it out at the mirror?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's see it.
But important
That'd be
question.
nice.
Important question. Which
Yeah.
jacket do we keep? The red one or the
Oh, the red
To
one.
jest dokładnie,
The
to
red
jest
one.
cała
I mean, we are
important.
CD Projekt Red,
Alright.
after all.
Plucie w
let's-
twarz, to jest
Fair
stream.
point.
The red one, yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
there's really no option.
Okay, let's see it.
W jakimś świecie Iwińskiego żyją.
The mirror, right?
In the mirror.
Nie, to jest takie lanie wody. Jeszcze zobaczcie na motocyklu w TPP. Boże.
What are we
Nice.
gonna see?
Well, I think that we are going to see another bug fix we did, which
No.
is that these expressions actually change in the mirror when you when you click on them. I'll be completely honest. This is a hand to my heart. I always thought that they did change and that V was just very sullen
Nie.
and had very
Tak u
minor
mnie
facial
działało
expressions.
zawsze.
And I still insist that that's true.
9
I
miesięcy,
don't
pamiętajmy.
know if it actually is
Tak?
or not, but I insist that it's true.
To nie są
but
delmy
anyway, V
robione
is a lot
przez
more
trójkę
expressive
studentów z
now than
Kanady.
her.
I have
I
to
wanna
say
ha-
though.
Daisy robione
that
przez
V
pijanych
with
Czechów.
the- like, guys, could you see her smile? She's like Geralt. She is like almost not smiling.
I mean, now she is smiling, but I 100% agree with Patrick that I thought it was meant to be like that.
A Patryk powiedział, że
I
Kasia
thought it was a
powiedziała,
role-playing thing,
że gdy wygląda
Oh,
jak
yeah.
Geralt. Nie, że to jest jakiś...
Doesn't have a lot of
Tough
affect. Yeah,
From
she's a
Night
tough
City,
merc.
you know.
Jezu,
Gotta
Can't show
keep
that
your
to
much.
jest human touch.
Absolutely.
W
Gotta be a
dupę, że
tough
tak
guy.
powiem.
Majorly.
Boże, nie, przepraszam, to się ciężko ogląda.
All right, time to show it off on the streets, I think.
Yes.
Are we gonna
Okej,
off-walk
minęło
the jacket?
20
Outside
minut
town.
idziemy na
Big
ulicę. Ale ostrożnie. Co z tym
Nice.
kotem w ogóle? Pewnie kot-
How are we gonna travel?
With fast travel.
No! Ah, my heart.
But just very closely, don't worry.
Don't worry.
Every
will
time
still-
someone
we'll
fast
still
travels in a
walk.
game,
Tak,
a
mieliśmy nie
level
fast travel,
designer
fast
dies.
travel jest wolne w tej grze.
Miles will be glad to know I never fast travel. Never fast
Aw.
travel. Except when
Not
testing, obviously.
once.
But
I never fast travel, tak, lubię dostrzeżać tych błędów.
I mean, what you could do, you could maybe just, I don't know, disable fast travels?
I don't know, there's probably a mod for that.
Jezu,
I
nie,
don't
oni tu
know
mówią
if
o
you guys
modach,
do
którzy
that
to robią
today.
zamiast...
I love that.
Twórcy mówią, że
Editors.
skorzystam z moda. To jest kurwa jakaś bzdura.
In the client.
Nie.
No, but
Łysy,
this-
ty przecież
I
on
mean,
cię
you know,
wyrzucą.
of
Gdyż
course
w
we
Blizzardzie
had
pracował
fast
w
travel
tym
as a
kurde
better
Bill
movie.
Cosby
Imagine
Suite.
working
Nie, czy to
for
jest...
years on something like this, trying to bring a city like
Oni
this
się
to life,
przyznają,
right?
że tak, nie gramy na modach, bo nie mogę grać w
And
podstawową
then
wersję.
people skip the content essentially by fast travel. This is how it must be like if you're one of our cinematic designers, you know, like handle
Yeah,
the
it's just
dialogue or the cutscenes, and people
you-
just go skip.
I hope I didn't miss it.
Yeah,
Can you
seriously,
get one of those
hours and
budget arms
hours
guns?
and hours.
You mean these?
Dobra.
Yeah. Can you get one of the budget arms guns? I love these
Yeah.
things. I love
Oh,
them. I
behind?
love them. They're so cute.
Oh yeah, vending machines with guns, I love it.
Reminds me of home.
Cute.
Są żarty z tego prawa broni w Stanach.
That's fine.
You need to press.
Here we
yeah.
go.
Oh, and I got
I was hoping
almost.
for a red one.
Almost one. Let's
Damn
get
it.
red one.
There we go.
Oh God, is it people in this world
Dobra.
collect them?
Ktoś
like
tłumaczy, co
toys?
się dzieje. Ja aż nie wiem.
No. Come on, red one.
Nope,
Gonna
you're
spend all your
cursed with
eddies.
this one. Just
One more. One more.
But pink is fine.
No.
No.
Amelia, calm down, calm down. It's okay.
Okay. Let's keep the pink one.
It's gonna be
It's
orange.
fine.
Orange looks better.
All right.
2 pink ones?
Well, maybe this is a good point in time to talk a bit about.
Ten sam koleś drugi raz na mieście, nie.
to
To...
drop some sage developer knowledge on how difficult it is to make patches like this on a live game. This has been something that over the recent months actually has been sort of a matter close to my heart, as I've been following my Twitter feed, what people write on Reddit and everything, right? And one thing I notice in general, and Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, is that people don't seem to be aware how difficult it is to create patches for a game that has been already launched, right?
Co on w ogóle gada, tak? To po co ją wypuszczać, skoro
It's
jest
a
taka...
process
Nie.
that
Boże,
takes a
nie.
lot of sort of finicking around
Nie.
with existing
Tak, we
systems.
don't care,
The
dokładnie.
main idea behind making patches is of course to improve a game and not to end up breaking it more. And how you need to imagine making fixes in a game
Nie, to są...
works like is
Pies zjadł
basically
moją grę.
open heart surgery, right? You have this whole system that's been sort of been working, and you kind of need to get in and try to fix stuff around the stuff without making sure that everything else
Jest on takiej
falls
oczywistości gada.
around it or breaks around it, and that can take a lot of time. We've had examples where things that might seem like simple fixes. One of them we will actually check out later, and we've already announced it. They may seem like something that should be fixable in a snap, right? And then we look into it, and this is not just like a thing that we at CD Projekt have, but like game developers in general, is that these fixes suddenly connect to so many other systems that turning one wheel somewhere else will actually cause another clock to somewhere else fall off, right? And you need to sort of make sure that you don't mess with the entire system while you
Jest to
try
speech
to
level
improve the
50
state of it overall.
kłamstwa,
And that's
masakra.
why sometimes it can take much longer to fix even small things than we anticipate as developers even, right?
Especially, like Miles already mentioned, the difficulty of doing it on a live game. So, I mean, as a quest designer, I get a lot of bugs where it's like, oh, this thing is supposed to happen, it didn't happen, and I saved the game, and now how do I fix it? So I have to actually go and, break apart the
Nie,
quest
bo
to try to
zdanie
figure
wody
out
straszliwe.
how to fix it for this person who saved the game at this one exact spot, but it can't break the game for anybody who saved it 5 seconds before or 5 seconds after, before this piece of logic has happened. Those can be difficult, but even
Jestem
more
ciekaw,
fundamental than that, and it's hard
My
to
first game,
stress
albo
how
game
difficult this
design
is,
dla
and I'm
for
a quest
dummies.
designer, I'm not a
Nie.
programmer, but if your game has problems with memory management and streaming, every change you make butts up
Z czym
against
ta gra nie ma
that.
problemów,
And
tak?
we've been working on the streaming, we've been working on the memory management, and I feel like we're finally at a place where
9
we're a
miesięcy.
little bit clear of those things,
little
and
bit.
that we can start getting to work on
Tak.
some other stuff, the stuff that we know that you want. We know
Tłumaczymy
you want
kod
those
z
things.
ukraińskiego na
I
polski, z
read
polskiego na
all of the
angielski.
messages that we get.
Jeszcze
I
jest chiński
read
po drodze
Reddit.
pewnie gdzieś, albo pakistański.
Why,
Nie,
I don't know.
indyjski. Czy to jest jakoś...
I even read the mean messages.
Nie,
by the way,
łysego
some people
zwolnił.
are
Jak on się
really,
nazywa?
really mean, and
Dam go na Twitterze, zobaczę,
whatever,
gdzie
but-
pracował pojutrze.
we know the things that you want, and we're working on a lot of those things.
Tak,
And
afgański.
I feel like we're finally in a place where we can start trying to deliver those things. This patch is the first part of that, so
Yes. It's one of many
Nie,
steps to
Łysy
kind
jest
of bring
zbyt...
it to
Nie
where
zdaje
you
sobie sprawy, że
want
Wiński
it
to
to
sobie
be,
potem
right?
tłumaczy w Google
This one
Translate.
introduces some improvements to public AI, crowd AI, and all that, but don't expect it to be like a completely new system just yet, right?
yeah, some things are going to get better in this patch, and then they will hopefully get better in the next patch, and then better in the next patch, and eventually wind up in the place where we want them to be and the place where you want them to be, but they do take time, and it's a lot. So, and we've had an interesting year. Let's just say that. Like,
Let's show something else. Let's
Uh-huh.
go
Yes.
someplace else
Co tam
and show
zostało
some
jeszcze,
more
okej?
changes.
I
More
think
changes.
this time around we're gonna go to Ghostlands, to Badlands, sorry.
Jezu.
Yeah, let's
Ghostland,
change the
West,
scenery.
Yes.
It's nice in
Ghostland
there.
sounds interesting. It's something we may
Mhm.
want to look into for the future.
Ooh. Okay, so in Badlands, there's I think another DLC waiting for us.
Co to będzie?
Yes.
Kałuża?
Yes.
Może nie.
Is it?
So pretty much all you have to do is the quest Ghost Town, like I mentioned, and it sort of matters with like who you side, either if you're gonna help Panam or not Panam, but that changes who is giving you that thing. And we just got text from Rogue. So let me read that message.
Nie, teraz jest
Kira.
czytanie wiadomości. Kto czyta teraz, no?
Sure, sure. All right, so, hey, good thing you didn't indulge Panam's
Okej.
appetite for
Czytanie
fraud or to your
angielskiego.
justice.
Uwaga.
Dropping Nash would have solved Diddy Squad. Besides, sooner or later, the Raffens would have tried to get
Nie wierzę
payback.
w to.
Don't worry, she'll understand soon enough. One last thing, B.
Dokładnie.
I know how to
To czyta
reward
Kowalski,
professionalism,
bardzo ładnie.
loyalty, traits that a certain someone evidently lacked. That reward's called a Quartz Bandit, and is now belongs to you. Sending you the quartz.
Jezu, co to jest? Co to jest?
Quartz Bandit.
Kurteczka? Sam pistolecik? Moment, to jest ważny DLC.
The Quartz Bandit.
Nasi graficy
What is-
pracowali nad tym.
It's a car. It's
Samochód.
a very
Jezu.
nice
Nie.
looking car.
One thing that I think is also worth noting about the way we approach our DLC,
Oh.
like a general design
Miles, I'm gonna-
philosophy.
I've got to cut you off though.
Okay.
I'm going to cut you off. There's a feature I like here. There's a feature that the Quest team worked on that I'm very proud
Uwaga,
of.
uwaga.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Łysy
I'm
odrobił
just-
zadanie domowe.
Really, I know you're excited about this.
I'm excited about this. One of the things, like you know, I don't know how many people know this, but like I'm one of the big like lore guys at the studio, and so I'm really excited to be able to show that in the journal now you have codex entries listed right next to the journal, so you can just click on that and get, you know, more detailed information about the world and you know what's going on. So I don't know, you can feel a little bit more informed about the world because I think it's a cool world. But yeah, again, it's a little change, but
Moja
a little
pierwsza
quality of
gra.
life thing. So yeah.
Tak?
Anyway, I'm
Fajne,
sorry,
fajne.
Miles. You can continue. You can
No,
continue.
it's okay.
One
I think
more
you know.
thing.
Nasza następna gra
You
będzie
can
super.
pull from that.
Oh yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
So if you click it
Tight.
on accident,
Boże,
you
nie.
keep in mind that you will call someone.
Yeah, we have done
Hmm.
this. We've rehearsed this a bit, and then we've ended up calling Mr. Hands a
Teraz
couple
będzie
of
opis
times.
I just
samochodu.
called him again.
Each and every time.
It happens
God.
every time.
Yeah,
Happens every time, yes.
happens. Every
No, but I think, you know, like these time again, as I said earlier with the whole crafting stuff, right? Like our goal right now is to take all of these, you know, like smaller changes to ensure that the gameplay experience of Cyberpunk as it is as smooth as it can be now. That includes all the performance stuff, that includes the quality of life changes, right? And all the sort of smaller and also larger feature updates that we're sort of introducing. And as Patrick has been stating time and time again now today, is that now we're sort of at the point in time where we can sort of dedicate to sort of bigger tasks. And, you know, we figured that dropping in some DLC like this is also a really cool thing. What I wanted to get at before I was
A,
interrupted.
będę teraz
is
o
that
mapie opowiadać, dziś
I think
oddali. Dobra,
it's really,
patrzcie.
really nice that the philosophy we sort of have for our DLC is that it should always be kind of included into the game in the way that it's not just you turn on a button, except for the Johnny DLC, I think, but like the jacket and everything is
mówię,
all
jak moje prezentacje na biologii,
implemented
to jest
into
dokładnie
the
to
game
samo.
in a sort of logical context, right? So for this car, you need to get to a certain point in the game and then make a handful of decisions in order for you to get it in a certain way, right? And then for the jacket, you know, you also need to get to a point in the game where then Victor will contact you, send you a text message, and give you the jacket.
Kurtka już
And this
zniknęła
sort of
oczywiście,
over
więc,
time will you know, with
Żeby
the
grali
other
innego
DLCs
save'a,
that we're
wiadomo,
working
ale...
on, will hopefully make the game world also a bit more full, a bit more complete as a whole.
And I should mention,
Jak to
because
jest być
while we have
game
rehearsed this, we've
developerem?
clearly not rehearsed it
Dobrze?
enough, that the point at which Vic will send you that text message is shortly after you meet with Dex in his limousine.
Yes, but it also like, you know, if you're like, I don't know, close to the end of the game, you will still receive that message. So it doesn't matter if you're like just starting or just already advanced in the game, you will still get it. Now, I'm gonna use Jackie's bike to get to the car.
Rest in peace, my boy.
Nice
Poor
stride.
Jack.
My favorite bike.
But I
Didn't
heard
you,
that-
Patrick, once mention? Yeah. Yeah, what Alicia wanted to say, I guess. We
Yeah,
heard
there-
some stories about Jackie. We wanted to double check with you.
Oh, that he used to be a bad guy?
An asshole? I think that's
Why?
what you said.
I say asshole? Yes. Jack used to be a real asshole in an older version of the game, and a way
Oho,
older version of the
Łysy mówi
story.
o coś...
Before a lot of much needed changes to the prologue.
Changes, wycięli, o to mi chodzi.
Jackie actually is the reason the heist goes tits up, because he's a prick and he fights you, and he was a jerk, but he works much better as your best friend, so that's a change we made. But yeah, he wasn't a nice guy.
No, that's what we call a good change in this case.
Definitely
Yes.
a good change.
love
Definitely a good
Jackie.
change.
And now
Yeah,
is the
of
car.
course.
Ta-da.
Yeah. Ta-da! I really like
Is that
this car.
NVIDIA RTX 3090?
Now we
That's
know
where
where
they
every...
went.
Oh god. Okay.
And it's very orange.
Yes.
So
I-
it's
Don't like the color, but this car handles really well. It's really fast. All the Nomad cars have really good handling, so they're my favorite ones to drive. But yeah, anyway, take it for a spin.
Oh.
how fast does it go?
Oh look! Look who's
I've
calling!
forgotten. It actually got... Ooh.
Takamura, hi.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
been waiting for you, Takemura. You said you'd call us tomorrow. It's been a while.
But yeah, the car. It's going back to the car. The car is actually... It's pretty good. It's speed.
It's good,
like,
tak, tory
super
były
fast.
dobre i samochód też był
170
dobry.
so far,
Jezu.
72? Yeah.
Jest
And
szybki,
actually, it drives
jest
pretty
dobry,
nicely.
Yeah.
dobrze się prowadzi,
I know they
dobrze
retuned it
wygląda,
recently,
dobry samochód.
more recent since I played it last, but it still looks like it handles pretty well. I don't know, Amelia, what do you think? Does it handle pretty good?
I'm absolutely terrible when it comes to riding cars in any
Okay.
game. So yeah,
No,
like
ja się nie znam i tak, ale to jest dobry samochód.
it gives I give the thumbs up.
Well, it's a pretty nice J-turn, so probably it works. All right, cool.
Cool.
This is a great opportunity, though, to talk about another fix that seems simple,
Oho.
very complicated,
Complicated.
is
no.
the minimap. As you'll
Jezu, nie
notice,
tak widziałem, jest, mamy
Amelia
to.
can get in and out
Mamy
of the car real
wszystko.
quick, just so it's easier
Yeah?
for them to
Patrzcie na
see.
minimapę.
I'm out.
Jezu, nawet się płynnie nie oddalać, po prostu przełącza,
So
nie,
you can
dobra.
see, like, yeah. The minimap zooms out when you get in the car now.
Który mamy rok?
And this is one of those changes I mentioned earlier, like memory issues. This is one of those things because
Na waszym
that
silniku to
map
jest
has
problem.
to stream in ahead of
Jezu.
you, and certainly
9
on some
miesięcy.
platforms there could be problems there. Even on PC though, if you just go and you pull the minimap up, you'll still see that there's like flickering ahead of you because the streaming can't quite keep up with the speed of especially fast cars. So this is something that we've done. This is a good change. You will get lost much less frequently. So, yeah.
Much less
Tak, future is now,
Yes.
old man.
Yes.
It's,
yes.
So, do we want to sum up what we've come up with
Tak,
here?
teraz podsumujmy. Uwaga.
Yes, please.
Pół godziny, 35 minut.
All right. So
Alright.
we've got. Let's see.
Uwaga.
We've got the jackets.
Kurtka.
There's
What else do you
also
have,
I
Alicia?
see a lot of comments
Patrick?
about sorry
Czekaj.
for interrupting.
Triggeruję
but I
tego
feel
na dole,
that-
coś tam
that's
komentarze.
something
Your
now
turn.
I get to interrupt. Finally, my revenge.
Sure.
But I see a lot of people also mentioning that there's been mods to sort of address the whole minimap issue
Mody
in
były,
the
ciekawe,
past. And
ciekawe co powie.
I
Mody
love
to
mods.
cheaty.
I come from a modding background. That's how I
Me too.
started in
Rodding
the industry.
magia.
Patrick as well. And the thing with stuff like that is that mods are not accessible on consoles, right? Like we have sort of this whole thing where we need to make sure that the fixes that we apply count for all platforms, right? Because we don't want to leave any
yes.
behind with these kind of fixes. So that for Cyberpunk is 8 different platforms essentially, right? From PS4, Xbox to the Pro variants, all the way to the next gen variants, and etc. That's a lot of stuff that you need to consider. It's not as simple as just making one fix and boom, it works everywhere, right? All these platforms have very, very different requirements. And as Patrick sort of mentioned, this particular change
Co baba robi z tym
was a
samochodem?
lot related to
On się boi jechać daleko,
performance
żeby
and
się nie
memory
zbugowało.
gains,
Jestem
right?
tego pewien.
Because the minimap textures that we have that are being showcased, they're actually fairly heavily on the memory. And simply zooming out was sadly not a valid solution for us because, again, it needs to run on all the platforms. And these performance gains that we've been fighting so hard for over the last year, we didn't want to throw them away with one additional fix, right? So we needed to be a bit more clever. You see with this minimap fix, basically when you get into the car, it zooms out as far as we can afford, but then it actually
Jezu,
shifts
as far as...
the
Nie.
minimap also a bit lower. And that, you know, turned out to be sort of like a clever solution to the problem. But again, it's something where initially it seems like, hey, we'll do it in 5 minutes, but then actually you investigate the problem and how it actually relates and what possible fixes you could do. And it turns out there's a whole rat's
Dokładnie
tail
ślady
of
opon na
possible
piasku.
issues that can be done if you don't fix it properly. And doing that is, of course, really important. The other thing is, of course, also anyone who's really been into modding will have had this moment where if you start piling up, you know,
Mogę z
5,
pamięci
10,
narysować ten
15
samochód.
mods into your game, the stability of your game goes down drastically, right? I think there's almost this thing where you try to get like a record amount of mods on and then, you know, like see how well it runs. And for us, of course, when we do a patch like this, it's almost like a 1,000 mods or whatever, slightly exaggerated, that we're throwing together, and they all need to be compatible, and they all need to be stable, they all need to be tested, right? And none of it needs to be
Specjaliści
made
od
in such a way
testowania.
that it causes a detriment on any of the platforms or any of the players, right? Besides, mods really only affect a tiny amount of players.
Co to teraz zrobiło, że tak zielono?
Because most people really like, you
To jest
know,
ciekawe
don't
w
game
końcu,
on
moment,
PC.
moment.
There's still a large amount of people, and of those people, only a fraction really actually puts in the
Też to
effort to
macie?
mod their game. Which, you know, again, mods can yield some
Skaner w
amazing
oczach, okej,
results,
dobra, przepraszam, dzięki, sorry.
for sure.
Thank
So
you.
tak, prawda,
triple
grałem dawno temu,
kudos
dobra.
thank you, Miles, and triple kudos to all of our developers who created this incredible amount of changes to the game.
Nie,
that
jak
we're
to
gonna
jest takim
show
kłamcą?
later.
Jak ona się
But
maluje bez
summing up
lustra? Co
what
jest
we
grane?
have
To
today,
niemożliwe.
right, we introduced
Ink.
some changes to the crafting system.
Boże, nie.
We introduced
Ona
some
będzie
changes to
aplikowało do
these
TV-PiSu potem? Co jest
behavior,
grane?
mirror expressions. Nibbles are very
Czy ona jest z Rosji czy z
move around
Białorusi?
and change
Bo może
positions
jakieś
now when
zatrudnili
Vio
ją
leaves
po
the
pracy w
apartment.
telewizji tamtejszej.
We've got
To jest
2 new
makabra.
jackets, we've got a new car, we've got the minimap, and a
Minimapa.
bunch of cool new additions. What have I forgotten? Come on, guys.
I
Zawieźliśmy
think
jeszcze
one more
5.
thing that
Naucz
would
się
like to
5
show.
punktów.
Yes.
Mam kartkę papieru. Jezu, nie.
Are you loading the game? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's
Thing.
get back to the main menu, and first of all, let's see that we have the new additional content thing in the main menu, so we can go there and we can check all the
Nowe
DLCs that
jackety.
have been added to the game. And
Samolik.
spoiler alert, we have the alternative appearance for Johnny Silverhand, which we are gonna show you
Nie
just
mogli tego powiedzieć na początku, byłyby spoilery.
so to turn on this alternative appearance, we go to the game settings while we're in the
Tak,
main
Jezu.
menu. We
Jak
go to
pobrać
the additional
Minecrafta?
content,
Idziesz tutaj, klik,
set it, and load the save,
alternate,
and
klik,
let's go see it.
load game, klik. Jezu, nie.
Not easy to do, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we load. Do we
Wspaniały
wanna
stream,
take a quick
tutorial.
look,
Yes.
Alicia? Huh?
What-
No.
Oh, why we load?
We
Well,
already
we
loaded.
load, yeah.
Okay, I see one question that is like really easy. Are the DLCs free? And the answer is yes. The DLCs
Czy to jest
are
za darmo?
free.
Jezu, nie.
Just download the patch
Jezu, nie.
and they are in there. Expansion.
Teraz najważniejsze, wszystko jest za darmo, wow.
We'll talk about another time, but DLCs are completely free and you get it with the patch as you download it.
That's a familiar place.
Yeah, so we're here to meet
Jezu,
Johnny. Oh, yes, here he is.
O Boże.
The big guy himself.
He's dressed up for his own funeral.
I mean, come on.
Łysy to
Could go
twój
anywhere.
funeral będzie.
Terrible.
Guys, I have to be honest. He looks like a poser. Like he just.
No, he looks great. Look, we have
He's
the
a
same
poser.
haircut. It's a very good haircut.
You know, the haircut's very nice. I think he looks like he's trying to make V think that he's cool. That's what I think. And you know, he doesn't need to. He's Johnny fucking Silverhand.
But
It's
wasn't
just
that
my
the whole
opinion.
point of Johnny? He's always been trying to prove to everybody that he's the
He's the
coolest, that he's
coolest,
the
yeah.
man.
Keanu się
you know?
przewraca na planie.
Yeah.
To
Well,
jest-
look what it got him. Look what it got him. Spoilers.
I
This
mean,
is what it got him.
It depends. It depends how you end the game. That's where it got him, right?
Yeah.
And talking about the ending, I think this is a very important quest in regards to the ending of the game. Obviously, no spoilers.
Mhm.
Oh,
But-
tiny bit spoilers.
A little bit. You can unlock a secret ending in this quest.
Mm-hmm.
For that,
Yes.
you need to do something special. Want
Yes.
to tell us more, Patrick?
Yeah, so if you want to unlock the secret ending, obviously you can look it up, but I'll also just tell you how to do it now. In this conversation, you have to pick some very specific options, and then this will
Co
enable
oni nam
the
psem
secret
pierdzielą w
ending.
ogóle?
And
co to jest teraz?
this one doesn't matter. You can
Yeah,
say
it
anything you
doesn't
want here.
matter, okay.
This one doesn't matter.
Dokładnie,
There are
te
three-
wybory się nic nie
three,
mają
right?
znaczenia.
Yeah.
Łysy ciebie
Yeah.
zwolnią.
Choose the correct
Mhm.
one to
Bo
unlock
boisz
the
się go
ending.
pociągną po sądach.
Yeah.
On tu streszcza
the
game designerskie
deal here
sekrety
is
tych questów. To nie ma znaczenia, co wybierzesz.
Johnny
Tak,
doesn't really respect people who kiss his ass, but he also isn't going to be super happy with you if you're aggro. So you have to kind of try to say what you need to get Johnny to respect you. So there's some certain specific options here. And Johnny, yada yada yada. Okay, yeah, Johnny, come on. Nah, fucked that up too. That's the choice that you want.
I don't like being rude to Johnny.
Po co to jest? Co oni tutaj tłumaczą,
Sometimes
że
you
co?
gotta. Sometimes, you know, that's
Tough
the way
love.
that people, you know, for Johnny especially, like he's not gonna believe you. He set up a nuke in downtown Night City. Every friend that ever,
Historia
that
dla
ever went
innego
with. Okay,
zakończenia?
yeah. What do you want from me? What do you want
Yeah,
from me?
that's the one.
I had to check. I don't remember it off the top of my head. And yeah, Johnny's just. I mean, that's what this scene is all about. This scene is usually at night, but we made it daytime so you can see his appearance a little bit better.
Yeah, but it has a little bit more climate when it's at night, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like this scene. The music in the scene is chef kiss.
The
I love it.
music in the game.
Yeah. The music
Chills.
in the game is
And this, the
Awesome.
second chances go. This is your last.
Yep, that's the one. Okay, so everybody, if you choose those three options
No.
when you are okay, spoilers. Anybody who hasn't beaten the game yet, you know, close your ears. At the end of the game, after you meet Hanako and you are deciding what to do on the roof of Misty's place, wait before you make your decision. Wait, I think it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I think it's
5, 7
5 to
minutes.
7?
Yeah,
Something
it's a
like that.
little. It's a little long.
So wait longer than you think you need to, and Johnny will come up with another plan, another option that maybe you hadn't considered yet, and so then that unlocks the secret ending. Keep in mind, the secret ending is meant to be a challenge. I know a lot of people said, the game's too easy. Game's too easy. You know, hey, if you do the right things, game can be too easy even on the hardest. I actually think that this last
Tak,
challenge is
tak jak mówi Hitman,
seriously
będą
very
zaraz
good.
wymieniali easter eggi wszystkie.
Keep in mind, I'm terrible at video games. But yeah, you'll get a challenge there. It's a one and done. You can't save. You have
Jak
to
ktoś
do the
dołączył
whole thing
teraz,
in one
Xerror
go.
pyta,
so yeah.
Nie,
But
jest 5 zmian.
Die, you die.
Kurteczka,
if you die, you
mapa
die.
się oddala
If you
skokowo
die in
po
the
przejściu
game,
do
you die in
samochodu.
real life. That's how
Kot
dangerous
podobno
it is.
chodzi po mieszkaniu,
very
ale to
careful
ciężko
with this one.
zweryfikować, bo nie wiadomo co się dzieje.
Peggy 60.
Samochodzik
How
dostajesz
much?
i
21?
suwaczek
91?
przy kraftowaniu. To jest wszystko.
Okay, so anyway, this is how you can unlock
9
it, and
miesięcy.
you guys, it's really worth it because V kind of it payoffs for V.
A teraz
I think
patrzą
it
na
really
zegarek
does.
wszyscy,
If you
bo jeszcze
think
mamy
it's too-
15
might be too
minut
difficult to play on easy,
do
that's
godziny
fine.
i ten,
And it works.
żeby ich nie zwolnili, muszą powiedzieć o pierdołach, więc mówią o sekretnym zakończeniu
yeah.
jakimś.
It's all about the story.
Exactly.
Ej, bo czemu akurat nie zespoilować coś innego jak nie zakończenie?
So, is that all of our
Yes.
changes that we're gonna mention today?
Ale dużo.
I
I
think
think
so.
so. I mean, we have tons of other changes,
Tons.
but you guys will be able to read them for yourself in the patch notes.
Tak, przeczytajcie sobie sami.
Should we maybe tease a bit those patch notes?
They're gonna be available real soon,
Go for it.
aren't they?
My
Yes,
nie czytamy
of
patch
course.
noty, nie, moment.
Okay, so basically, here they are. They are
Co to za
longer than
błazen
patch
nada?
1.2. Trust me. We put a lot
We
of
know.
effort in those patch
Jak
notes.
się zwolni, to są...
Yeah. And they will be live on our cyberpunk.net website just in a second, right after this stream, or maybe even during this stream. Our team is on standby. And there's
I
a
keep
lot.
scrolling and they keep
Ah.
going.
I
Co
see
to mi
some
tu
of my
wyskakuje, Boże, tak.
Some of my fixes. Yay.
If you
To jest
click the
fix
name
z
of the
gatunku,
quest,
że
it actually
NPC się nie
unrolls
spawnuje,
and
Boże.
It makes, and it shows all of the changes for that specific quest. So it's not all of them; they are hidden in there. Yes, exactly.
That's how long
Anyway,
they
right?
are.
These are
Nie,
these
to
are
się
of
powinno być
course not
animowane, nie
all
wiem, żeby
the
też
changes, right? Some are
zdjęcie do
more that,
każdego
they're
tego
not
fiksu
really
powinny
worth
dawać.
mentioning. It's hard to keep track of all the changes that we put in on
Filmiki do
the
każdego powinni
scale
zrobić.
or in this quantity. So you know, I'm looking forward to the undocumented changes list that usually pop out.
Undocumented changes
And
to są
there's-
nowe bugi, które
There's also
powtórzyli.
been a lot of work done under the hood to make the game more stable, and most of that stuff doesn't really make change lists because it's nothing that would be really understandable. I certainly don't understand it, and I've been doing this for a very long time.
Same.
So yeah.
Okay, so we get the patch notes on the website, which you can go check out now. We got 3 DLCs coming.
Free, to
with
z was
the
za darmo.
patch, Jacket's car and Johnny appearance. But it's not all of the DLCs. We will keep adding them, and we're also working behind the scenes on the expansion that we are planning. So can we talk about something more that we are planning?
Oho.
We can't talk about the expansion, but I can say, and without promising any kind of like anything, like I'm working on it and I think it's cool. Miles and I are working on it together, and I'm really
Yes.
excited about what we're working on. I think it's cool. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Just in case it wasn't clear, because we mentioned it a couple of times, but all of these DLCs, these are going to be smaller DLCs. Some of them are going to be bigger DLCs, but they're all free. All of those are free. Expansions, just like for Witcher, those will be paid. But that's that's we'll have more to say later. That's all I can say for right now.
Okay. Let's
I'd
not
love
jinx
to.
anything.
I'd love to, but we're not gonna. That's a
And also, we've mentioned it at the beginning, but I think it's worth mentioning again.
Rasmor ładnie wkleja,
purchases,
tak,
we've
na
also
Reddicie
not done,
grillują,
right? Like
widzę.
as we said, this is sort of like one more step in the direction of bringing the game to the point where we
Aha.
all want it to be. And we are hearing your feedback. We're reading all the messages, all the
Tip-top.
tweets
nie
and
jest
everything,
tip-top,
the
to
good
jest-
ones and the bad ones. By the way, on that note, to everyone who's going out of their way,
To jest ruch
posting
wynikający
nice
z
and
przesuwania się
encouraging
płyt tektonicznych.
messages,
thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
They help a lot,
Thank
and
you.
We'll keep on troopering on.
Yeah.
And that's what I can say about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To jest
I
stream,
think that's a good moment
to
to
jest
finish,
stream
actually.
dla inwestorów. Tak, potem Iwiński na
told
tańcem,
you
patrzcie,
everything,
patrzcie,
yeah?
godzina
I wanna say one
wymieniania
more thing.
poprawek.
Okay.
And
of
it's
course.
just bounce off what Miles said.
Nowy samochód, nowa
this
kurtka.
Is sincere,
Dam na
this is from
bankierze,
the heart.
jacy dobrzy.
I know a lot of people were disappointed with this game. Like I really do. Like I know.
Jezu,
A lot of us were
łysy, ty nie chcesz
disappointed
tej
with this
pracy.
game, and I really appreciate those of you who have stuck with
Iwiński
us,
powiedział,
who
że było
believe in this
zajebiście.
project, who believe in this game, who believe in this world. Like sincerely, when I see you guys posting your fan art or your screenshots or talking about the characters that affected you. It's wonderful. It really, really, really makes it worth it, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We all appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah, one last thing.
Oh no! Oh
We've
no!
been talking about this patch without actually really addressing the issue of when does it come out?
Uwaga.
Which is-
The answer is soon.
Yeah, so now we're here talking about it, which means really, really soon, right?
We can
So
actually, like, really, really, really soon.
in the past, we
Really,
haven't had
really-
the
nie, sorry,
greatest
przepraszam, ale rzeczywiście nie można
experiences
nie
with,
nabijać.
revealing fixed
Jezu.
release dates, so let's not, please don't force us to do it again. But believe us, it's really soon.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx anything, but it's soon, and patch notes are already up, so go read them. And before you finish reading the patch notes, maybe it's gonna be out there, because that's a long patch notes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it gets
Alright.
key.
A lot of scrolling.
Thank
Jezu,
you
ona
one
to
last
pisała.
time, and
To jest
hopefully
jej
we'll
wielkie
see you
osiągnięcie
next
życiowe.
again,
Napisała tego
soon,
patch note'a.
and hope you enjoyed our stream. So bye everyone!
Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Możemy podsumować to tylko tak. Pokażę wam sztuczkę, image. Dawno tego nie robiłem. Czy tam jakiś filmik fajny? Nie. I gdzieś tu było color correction. Auto. Negative grayscale. Tak wygląda. W ramce go można sobie dać. Game of the Year. O Boże, teraz cięcie.